time.
It is. It is, and that's what we're in football for. Games like this that we've got coming up, massive incentive for us all. Even more so with what we did in the last couple of major tournaments in the Euros. We've not been to a World Cup for too long, and hopefully we've got ourselves in a position after these next two games where we're a little bit closer.
How much in the camp is the talk of Gareth Bale's 100th?
Yeah, it's something we can't really get away from, really. Gaz has been incredible for us for a number of years. What he's achieved, he's been incredible in club level, but with Wales, it's kind of an extra incentive for us as well to help him get to a World Cup. He's helped us out over the years, like I say. So it'd be nice for us to repay the favour and get him to the World Cup.
Yeah, not least in against Belarus this a few months ago.
Yeah, it was sort of vintage Gaz, wasn't it? We really struggled. It was tough conditions, tough pitch. They made it really difficult, but luckily we had the man to swing it in our favour.
What do you learn by facing him in training, Danny? I mean, is it a bit of a daunting task?
Yeah, I remember when I first came up, I'd never seen anyone hit football the way that Gaz did, and it was difficult. So much pace and power on the ball, and everything just seemed to be in the stanchion. There was nothing going wide or towards the goalie, but we act as though he's a lot older than what he is, because he's been on for so long. But he's still at an age where he's performing at the highest level. Okay, he's coming back from an injury, but we all know how important he is to us and how good a player he is.
Yeah, how's he looking this week?
Yeah, just normal Gaz. He's been on the grass with the boys. He looks good.
And I was talking to John Toshak about him, and he was saying, even from the first day he turned up with the squad, he was still practicing after training, shooting, free kicks. You experienced that? Yeah.
Sometimes it can be annoying for a goalie because he wants you to stay behind for hours, just to do shooting. But no, he's the same old Gaz. He's always putting the work on the pitch, and the proof's been in the pudding with performances he's put in for the country over many years now.
I got to ask you, Danny. Obviously, we all know what happened against the Czech Republic. How much have you learned from that? And also, talk about turning a negative into a positive. What about the support you had from the Wales fans and the clean sheet which followed?
Yeah, it was a mad few days, to be honest. Fans were incredible. That was just cemented what we already know about the fans and the Red Ball. They were unbelievable with me. In terms of the Czech Republic games, it's one of those things. It's something I've got to learn from. It was unfortunate, but it's always important how you bounce back from those sorts of situations. The reality is, as a goalkeeper, if you make a mistake in the middle of the goal, and it comes with the territory, it's likely it is going to be a goal. But it's something, like I say, I've learned from, and you can't go back and change it. You just got to think about the next game or the next action and can't let it affect you.
And the next game for you was a clean sheet. How big is that?
Yeah, not just for myself, but I think for us as a team, again, similar to the Belarus game away, really difficult place, tough conditions, a team who were putting us under a lot of pressure. So, got strikers like to get the hat-tricks and the goals, but a 1-0 away win for those defensive players is like a hat-trick.
And do you feel Wales are coming into this now with Gareth Bale, with Aaron Ramsey? I mean, it's time now, isn't it? And there could be sort of no excuses now. You've got to get 4 points, and you know what's in front of you, and you know what you have to do.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of clarity for us, and the fact that we've got two absolute world-class players back in the squad, both fit, can only help our cause. When we want to get the 4 points, we want to get 6 points, but like I say, can only help our cause having them two boys in the squad with us again.
And you've been and played in some special games, but Saturday night at the Cardiff City Stadium, with the fans turning up in numbers, could be a belter, couldn't it?
It could be. We certainly hope so, and hopefully they turn out in numbers. We know that whether there's 10 people or 30,000 there, the support we get is amazing, and they can drag us over the line. We've seen that many a time over the years. It's something we look forward to, and hopefully we can repay them with a good result and good performance on the pitch.
Danny, all the best. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Rob. Going to.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, mate. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Given the severity of Gareth's injury with a hamstring tear of that grade, are you at all surprised by how he's looked at sort of in sort of the recovery and the training that you've had in the camp this week?
No, Gaz has been at the highest level for a long period of time. He came on the scene really young, and it's sort of no coincidence he's maintained those levels for as long as he has, because he's an ultimate professional. It was no surprise to me to see him back raring to go and looking as fit as ever the last few days. So yeah, absolutely no qualms about Gareth and his performance levels and his fitness levels from what I've seen.
Because pretty much, everyone who's in the stadium, everyone who's watching on the telly is going to be, praying and hoping, Gareth plays, but also gets his 100th cap. From what you've seen this week, listen, I know it's Rob Page's decision, but there's no reason that you can see this week that he can't play some part on Saturday.
I don't see why not. Otherwise, I don't think he'd be in the squad, Gareth, to be honest. That's the manager's job to decide who he picks, but having Gareth Bale available to play, whether it be from the start or coming off the bench, being around the squad is definitely not a bad thing for us as a group.
And just in terms of, I suppose, again, distractions, just can you give us a sense of maybe how on this occasion it's a good distraction, how you can use so many people talking about Gareth Bale winning 100 caps, that perhaps when you do have a job to do, how it can be a good distraction at times? It can.
I don't think it's distracted us all too much. We're obviously aware of what an unbelievable achievement it is, but it's also a source of inspiration as well for us as a group. Why can't we have some more men to get in the camp to go and get that sort of level of caps, that number of caps? We've seen Chris Gunther obviously still flying away with the cap record, and that's extending all the time. But to see Gaz, there's a few more boys who aren't too far off it. It should act as an inspiration for the rest of us to try and get them to that level of caps.
Danny, can you give us a sense of again, just the professional nature of what you've got to do here? Is that if you don't make it to the World Cup in Qatar, listen to me, to the year's time, unbelievably, 12 months' time, you'll be in Qatar if you make it. There's the job in hand, that it's in your hands, and that if you do your job to the best of your abilities, you will be at a World Cup. How much are you talking about that and keeping the focus on getting Wales to a World Cup and fulfilling, your ambitions, your destiny, and your talent as well?
It's obviously been an absolute dream for us, not just those players, but everyone involved, including fans, people around the place, staff, the organisation of the FAW. It's something that we've wanted for so long. But I'm going to bore you with the old cliche, is the fact that we're not thinking that far ahead, Gareth. We're just literally thinking of Belarus on Saturday. Once we see the outcome of that, then we can think about the Belgium game on Tuesday.
And just in terms of crowds back, it's something that still people are getting used to as well. Much has been talked about the red wall, whether it's the the 12th person on the pitch, or whether the moment when the singing gets you out of a bad period as well. How much have you as players got to get used to having that back on and being able to use that energy?
I don't think it's a case of getting used to it again. Now we've had plenty of games now where we've had supporters back in. There was a maybe not a teething problem, but maybe something that was a little bit different again. Yeah. Similar to when we first came back from the lockdown and there was no fans. It was difficult adjusting to that, and then to go back to having fans back in the stadium again wasn't necessarily a hard adjustment, but it's definitely something to think about again. Dealing with that sort of pressure and expectation.
Danny, listen, thanks ever so much for your time, and good luck on Saturday. See you at the weekend. Thank you, mate.
See you later, mate.
Thanks, Gareth. Sianed, Danny?
Hiya, Danny. You okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. I just wanted to ask you, it's coming towards the end of the calendar year. How much has this year meant to you as a professional? Because you've, completely cemented yourself as the first choice keeper. You're a firm favourite amongst the fans. We saw, like people have mentioned, the reaction after the Czech Republic game. Just on a personal level, how much of a great year has it been for you?
It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed it. It's something that is quite fulfilling because, after having to bide time for so long, because Wayne's been absolutely amazing for Wales for a long, long time. So that to finally get the chance after coming away and putting in the hard yards is definitely something which is very satisfying. But knowing the group we've got, especially in the goalkeeping department, you can't then rest on your laurels. You then have to maintain a standard, and otherwise the other boys will take the shirt off you, which is brilliant for all three of us, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you about Wayne, because he's been speaking to us a lot this week about Gareth, but how often, have you guys spoken about the situation at all? I can imagine he's probably been very supportive of you.
We've never spoken about the situation, but, likewise when Wayne was playing, Adam, whoever plays, we're such a tight-knit group that we will back each other at, 1,000,000%. We spend a lot of time together on camp. We speak a lot when we're not in camp. It's a real sort of nice unit we've got. We're all good friends, and ultimately, whoever's playing, we try and gear them up to put in the best performance they can in a Wales shirt. It's as simple as that. There's no sort of ego or anything to do with that. We just want the best for each other and the best for Wales.
And looking ahead to Saturday, Danny, how important is it that, like Gareth mentioned, that you keep your focus? I think because that 0-0 draw against Estonia at home still feels quite sour. How do you avoid that situation again?
I think we should use the Estonia game as maybe a wake-up call. I think it proved that international level, if you get a chance, you've got to take it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter who you play against. As some of the, we'll be looking to correct going into the game Saturday. We know we've got the talent in the squad. We know we've got the togetherness. It's just a case of all that coming together now and getting ourselves a victory and a good performance on the weekend.
Final one for me, because my laptop's about to die. The Nations League situation, does that change your mentality at all? Because you've almost got sort of a get out of jail free card, if you like, if things don't go to plan.
I don't think we can have that mindset. Otherwise it might be playing in the back of the mind. Nations League, we might have this. Maybe a bit of complacency then creeps in. We're professional footballers. We want to go into every game and win. We don't want to finish third in a group or fourth. We want to finish as high as we can and be as successful as we can.
Yes, Danny, have a good one.
All right.
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Just wonder if I can hopefully you can take the Belgium game. Just ask you sort of what your mindset is when you sort of take on the world's top team.
Well, Phil, I play for a club in the Premier League who've got top international players, so it's every day you're around these people. At the end of the day, you're in goal trying to stop a shot. It doesn't matter if it's Kevin De Bruyne, Gareth Bale, Yuri Tillemans, Aaron Ramsey, or if it's your next door neighbour. It doesn't matter who it is. Your job is to keep it out of the net. You can't really get caught up too much in who you're against. You've got to concentrate on yourselves and make sure your performance is as high a level as you can be.
I understand that, but the fact, did they sort of show their firepower when, we started so well over there, didn't we? And got the great goal through Harry Wilson, but then, they just hit us sort of with the quality they've got, I suppose.
Yeah, similar like what I was saying to Sean, then it's a case of the top players are clinical. That's something that we need to work on in terms of being ruthless, especially the Estonia game was something that we look back on and real chances that we missed. But at the top level, if you get them chances, you got to show the calmness and composure to put it in the net. And I think that ultimately was the difference on that night over in Leuven.
No, Lukaku, obviously, he's injured. Is that a help?
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing striker. He's come over to the Premier League back now with Chelsea, and he's proven wherever he's been, he's always scored goals. So, obviously that's a help for us. But I mean, Belgium are the #1 ranked team in the country in the world, so I'm sure they've got some other quality players at the top end of the pitch.
And just finally, they could obviously qualify and win the group on Saturday evening. I mean, would you like maybe they could possibly rest a few, possibly for Cardiff?
Possibly, but like I say, #1 nation in the league. You can take a few players out and they can replace them with someone equally as good. And also you've got that professional pride as well. If that is the case, they'll have players who want to come in and make a mark and try and prove, that they're in there for them, want to get in the next starting 11 or then to be involved in the World Cup. So there's always something to play for, and not just places, but your professional pride as well. No one plays a game of football wanting to draw or lose.
Cheers, Danny. All the best.
All right, mate.
Thanks, Bill. Finally, Lawrence Nora.
Hey, Danny. I thought it was really interesting what you were saying to Sean Ed about the fact that you guys are a really close unit, the goalkeepers. So just wondering what sort of role Tony Roberts plays in all of that.
It's a real character, Tony. First and foremost, really good coach. Obviously, he's really well experienced, played the game as well, international player. But he's a character. He's a funny man. So he gets us all firing and fits of laughter. But when it's time to work, it's time to work. Although his coffee skills have got better the last few years. You know, he's lost a lot of games in 2-touch and competition. So he makes us. He's got really good at making his coffee.
Has he? Is that the punishment for?
That's the punishment. Yeah. So I think he could get a job in Starbucks or Costa. To be fair, his barista skills have come on leaps and bounds.
Because he had to spend an awful lot of time kind of under Neville Southall, didn't he? So I guess he sort of understands that goalkeeper role.
Yeah, you know, Tony was played until he was into his 40s. You know, similar to Nev. You know, he's been around the block in terms of playing. He understands the mentality of a goalkeeper, whether that's playing or being on the side of the pitch. It's difficult, and it's sort of a position like no other. So to have someone like Tony with his experience and his character and understanding is brilliant for the three of us.
Yeah. Latte, is that what you have, or flat white?
Yeah, cappuccino. Nice little cappuccino, I think.
There you go. Put your order in. Top man. Cheers, Danny.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Lawrence. There we go. Thanks, Danny.
Super.
Great stuff. Diolch, everyone.